Good afternoon, YouTubers. Welcome back in to another Monday edition of Astros Recap. It is July 11th, 7/11, exactly 2:59 p.m. So, obviously Astros off today. So usually Monday off days, that's when I like to get on and talk to you. Obviously, I talked to you just last Wednesday at the halfway point of the season to give you sort of my report cards of every player. Astros were in the midst of a 4-game set there with Kansas City. They did take 3 of 4, so hard to ask for much more than that. Then they went on to Oakland, played at the Ring Coliseum where they took 2 of 3. So whenever the Astros have a 7-game full week of games, 5-2 is usually the goal. And if you give me that, I can't be too upset. So, yeah. At 5-2, I mean they're 50. What are they now? Let's see, 56-29. So, yes, satisfied with where they're at. They flirted with the whole, kind of hard to explain here, but one of the things I actually care about, if your team's good enough, is doubling up your wins with the losses, basically. So, the Astros had another opportunity at that. They had an opportunity back when they were playing the. Did this twice actually, so just this past week. So against the Royals on Wednesday. On Wednesday, they had a chance to win their 56th game, which would have put them at 56-28. So you do the quick math, 28 times 2, 56. That puts the winning percentage right at 666.66, and it goes, yeah, so on and so on. 666.66666, so on and so forth. So yeah. Doubling up the wins with your losses. The Astros had another chance on Saturday to do that. If they had won, they were going to be, let's see here, 56. Hold on, I got some things mixed up here. So the Wednesday game, which is the game they lost, they also lost on Saturday. Those two losses were also days where they had a chance to double up those wins. So, yeah. On Wednesday, it would have been 54 and 27. Yeah, 27 times 2, 54. Saturday, they had a chance to go 56 and 28. 28 times 2, 56. So, yeah, both those games they lost, so weren't able to do it. That's just sort of a small thing. Like, if you do it perfectly in the full season, you'd end up at 108 and 54. Astros were very close to that back in 2019, where they're 107 and 55, fell one game short. But that's just a small thing. I kind of like to, that would basically be winning 2 out of every 3 games. So the Astros did win Sunday, so they did take 2 of 3, and they'll have a chance, but they got to win, 2 in a row? No, 3 in a row. Wait, hold on. Yeah, 3. They got to win all 3 against LA coming up here to actually go 58 and 29, which would put that winning percentage back at 666, which they have not done all year. I mean, they played good baseball. They won 8 in a row before losing on Wednesday. 1-2, lost, and then won the finale yesterday to win the series. So the Astros overall are in good shape. Like we've mentioned, the division's not in any doubt whatsoever. As I look at our division update. Seattle, who's won 8 games in a row. All right, I've pushed themselves into second place, but they're 12 games back. So the division's not something I'm really concerned with. You look at the Yankees, who have actually struggled here. We are, I think, let's see here. Let me do my math here. They had us beat by 2.5 in the win column and 2 in the loss column. So they're 4.5 games ahead of the Astros. That is still very much alive to have the best record in the American League. The next best team is Minnesota. Hold on, let me see. I could be wrong. No, Minnesota. Well, Boston actually is a few percentage points ahead at 47-39. So the third best team in the American League is so far back. They're 10 games back or 9.5 games back of Houston, us, the Astros. So when I think of things, really it's just first and second, and both teams will get the bye. I heard a caller on the radio station. Actually, it's an interesting point yesterday. He said, If the Astros actually stay in second place, that might be better for them because New York, like if the playoffs started today, you're looking at New York playing. So this whole playoff system is going to be a little different. So it's kind of hard to predict actually. But I mean, you're going to have 3 wild card teams, and right now you got Seattle and Toronto actually vying for the 3rd spot. They're tied right now. But that one of those wild card teams, whether it's Boston, Tampa Bay, I still think that Toronto is not a favorable matchup. Now Toronto's been on a horrendous. I mean, they've lost 4 in a row and they're 1-9 in their last 10. They're tied with Seattle right now for the 3rd spot. So Toronto's really sort of taking a tailspin. I feel like the last few months they really haven't been able to recover a whole lot. They were clearly the best team early on this year in the American League. Well, the Yankees I think were a little better, but Toronto was still right there. I need to sort of go back to the Astros here. I don't want to get too far off, but just a quick standings update. So the Astros took 3-4 against Kansas City. Now, in each one of those games, they were down and out to start. Like they were trailing every game. They were not the first team to score. Now Monday they were down 5-0 and came roaring back and erased that deficit. Jordan Alvarez, the big walk-off home run. Odorizzi was terrible in that game, by the way. So I think I briefly brought that up on Wednesday since that game had been played. But yeah, Odorizzi was not good there. None of our starters were good until Verlander the final day. I mean, I think it was Garcia. I got to go back and look. It was some combination of Javier and Garcia, but Odorizzi, Javier, and Garcia, none of them were good. I think Garcia got the Tuesday game, if I remember correctly. Garcia got the Tuesday game, was not good. But to give you more specific lines here, let's see if I can find this, pull this up. So Odorizzi, he actually gutted out 4 innings to save the bullpen a little bit. But, Seth Martinez, who pitched 3 innings and was phenomenal. But Odorizzi goes 5 earned runs, 5 hits. ERA jumped over 4. You'd think it's higher with Odorizzi, but we do have to keep in mind the 4 very good starts he had before he got hurt. So, but yeah, not good. He got let off the hook because the offense came back late, won that game. But Martinez getting through 3 innings to get us to the 8th really helped the bullpen. Maton had Maton's not a very good, he's not good at keeping the ball in the ballpark. He has allowed a lot of home runs this year, I feel like, and he allowed 1 there. Gave up an earned run, but the Astros still overcame it. Stanek had the solid, got the win there in the 9th inning. I think Presley would have pitched the 10th if the game went to extras, but the Astros won that game. Tuesday's game, this was Garcia. They still won this game, so, I mean, no, wait. I got things mixed up. Let me see. They won on Monday. They won on Tuesday. They won on Tuesday. Garcia got the win, but his numbers were not good as he goes 6 1/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, walked 1, but offense showed out. He got the win. I mean, Nares came in, gave up a run. Nares, I've been not super thrilled with. Well, no, he didn't give up a run. He got 2 outs, got the hold, walked a guy. But Nares has sort of up and down. I don't know what to make of Hector Nares at this point. Brian Abreu came in. Abreu struggled. He gave up a run. It was unearned. He walked 2 guys, struck out a batter. But Abreu, haven't seen a whole lot of him lately. I don't know why Dusty doesn't like to use him. But he wasn't great. Good pitchers can pitch around unearned runs. And he walked 2 guys. So Maton came in, got 2 outs. Pretty clean for him. Montero gave him an earned run. Struck out 2. But he got the save, his 6th of the year. So bullpen wasn't great. Starters weren't great. But you score 9 runs, you're probably going to win that game more often than not. Wednesday was the bad game by Javier. So Javier had 2 incredible starts in a row. but on Wednesday he was not good. We lost, but 5 innings, 5 earned runs on 4 hits, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. Really the big issue, the Astros were fighting back. They were down a run going into the 8th, maybe 9th inning, but Neris, who came in and gave up 2 runs, gave the Royals 2 more runs of insurance and were able to close that game out. So Neris, yeah, it's a decent outing. This was not a good one for him. ERA is 3.86. I would like a better version or a better guy. ERA lower than that, especially if you're pitching in the 8th inning of close games. So I'm not thrilled with Neris at this point right now. Stanek, I talked about a lot of these guys just a few days ago on Wednesday, obviously. Stanek's ERA is insanely good, but he's not super great at, when he comes into innings with runners on base, which are inherited runners, he's not good in those scenarios. And that never counts to his line. So that's why his ERA is like at .67. I think I just looked at it. .67, but I need Stanek to come in start of innings or without runners on base. So, yes, that's when I want to see Stanek in games, which I don't have an issue with Stanek at all. He's been one of the best pitchers. Him and Montero have probably been the best two throughout the year in the bullpen. Him and Montero. That should be your 7th, 8th combination. Neris here and there, you guys need a break, but I'm still not thrilled with him. Anyway, come back Thursday. We're down 2-0 the entire way. Altuve, big 2-run home run. Alvarez gave them the lead, and they added some insurance runs in the 8th inning. 2 more to sort of widen the gap. Presley gets to save his 18th of the year. But yeah, we were down in all these games and still wound up winning 3 or 4 against Kansas City, who I think is the second to worst record in the American League, to the A's, which was their next series. I won't dive too much into the series. Quick recap: won 8-3 Friday. Urquidy was great. He got through 8 innings, and then Martinez pitched the 9th. 2 big 3-run shots. Let's see. Bregman had a big 3-run shot. Maldonado had a big 3-run shot. Let's see Bregman. Hold on. Let's see. Bregman might have been a 2-run shot. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, Bregman, Maldonado. Maldonado hits meaningless home runs, meaningless hits, which we talked about a few days ago. His home run was after the Astros were leading. I mean, it sort of widened the gap a little bit, but it wasn't like a game-saving, game-tying, go-ahead hit. Maldonado never has hits like that, so. Saturday was a weird game. So, Framber Valdez, who actually pitched a complete game, 8-inning complete game because the A's won. Astros had a 2-0 lead early on. But there was like a pass ball, wild pitch. Like, obviously, when I'm at work on Saturdays and Sundays, sometimes it's hard to keep track of these games because I'm sort of trying to work. But the Astros were up 2-0. There was a RBI fielder choice here. This is the 4th inning here when the A's erupted, I guess, for 3 runs. Pass ball scored a run. Wild pitch scored a run. So that's on Valdez a little bit there. 2 of those runs were earned. I mean, it's still a good. 8 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Walked 2, struck out 3. He's going to walk his batters. ERA 2.64. Tough luck loss. Drops to 8-4. Valdez is actually going to the All-Star team, so he's obviously been good enough to be an All-Star this year. And then we win yesterday. Corey Lee had the big 3-hit game. So Corey Lee, who I think he also made a throwing error on a runner trying to steal second. So, but good to see him get his hits, driving a few runs. So winning that game. Odorizzi, this was a good start. Odorizzi for us here. He went 7 scoreless innings, 4 hits. 7 strikeouts, walked 1. Maton got an inning. Of course, he gave up his home run, which he usually does, and Abreu closed it out. So our bullpen's in good shape, and you get the day off today. So no, I mean, we only used Seth Martinez Friday. We used nobody on Saturday, and then pretty painless for Maton and Abreu yesterday. So the bullpen is very fresh with the day off today. Obviously, even so it'll be good going into this week. Play the Angels starting tomorrow for 3. Yeah, and then Oakland, and then the All-Star break. So we're coming up on the All-Star break coming up here soon. Trying to think. So injury. Alvarez has been placed on the IL. So Alvarez, we will wait and see. We'll just wait till basically after the All-Star break. Hopefully get him back for that New York doubleheader on Thursday, which is after the All-Star game there. But Brantley's been in the IL for quite a while. I didn't think his injury was serious, but he has not been back. You got Chas McCormick and Jose Siri back up right now because of those 2 injuries. My guess is Siri will be the first one sent down, and then you got the decision. Chas McCormick needs to be on the trading block, a guy you need to get rid of at the deadline. That's the way I look at it. So that's my feeling about McCormick. But J.J. Matichevic's the other guy, which will probably be sent down. It'll be between him. So when you get Alvarez and you get Brantley back, Siri will be the first one, and then you got to flip-flop. It depends on who you'd rather have, Matichevic or McCormick. Now, Jake Myers, now granted, he's only been here for 2-3 weeks now. He's already proven he's the center fielder of this team. He's already proven it. I mean, he's been better than both Siri and McCormick. They didn't set the bar that high to begin with, but Myers is fine. The Astros don't need an outfielder at the deadline. In fact, I'd be kind of frustrated if you got an outfielder at the deadline. They're good with what they got. They need a left-handed reliever. I would like a catcher that might be hard to pull off, but I think the primary focus at the deadline is a left-handed reliever. Solid, not like a Brooks Raley, Oliver Perez type guy. You need a guy that can strike people out and get big outs in big games. That's what they need at the deadline. So James Click, you did a great job last year adding 4 relievers at the deadline, and I applaud you for that. Make it happen again, but we don't need 4 guys. We just need 1 left-handed reliever that can strike out, get big outs. We'll wait and see. The deadline's August 2nd, so it's actually approaching fast. But, yes. 6 games. You go 4-2. I'm not going to be too upset with that. 4-2 would they're at 29 losses. I'd really love to go in the All-Star break with 61-30 would be sweet. The Astros could do that. 61-30. That'd be 5-1. So this probably be one of those rare weeks where I want the Astros. If they go 4-2, they'd be at 59-31, I believe. Let's see here. No, 60. They'd be 60-31, which is still good. Get to 60 wins by the break, but 61-30 is even sweeter. So, I mean, they can do it. I mean, they get the A's back at home. I mean, you got 3 on the road against the Angels. The Angels have just been free-falling. They've been absolutely atrocious. So look at the standings here. I mean, the Angels, they've fallen all the way to 38-49. They've lost 4 in a row and 2-8 in their last 10. They've been terrible. And the only team worse than that in the division is the A's, and you get them for the next 2 series. So 5-1 should be doable. You got to hit. I mean, Bregman, I think he's starting to come around. He's looked better. It's been a few weeks where I feel like he's looked better. He needs to be the guy now, because without Alvarez, you really don't have a guy. I mean, you got Altuve at the top. You got Pena, who's sort of hot and cold, I feel like. Pena's okay. I'm curious to look at his numbers real quick. What's Pena doing? The average concerns me a little bit with Pena, I feel like. I mean, he's showing the power numbers. 266, I'll take that. You have their all-stars, obviously. Altuve's starting at second. Alvarez got completely hosed by Ohtani, and this is ridiculous. I hate Shohei Ohtani right now. But Ohtani's starting at DH. Now, Alvarez is better than Ohtani in every statistical category across the board hitting. But some reason Ohtani's pitching as a DH, which means absolutely nothing. It's stupid. But it doesn't matter, actually. It doesn't bother me as much because Alvarez is not going to play anyway because he's hurt. So, but he got completely hosed. Completely screwed. I didn't like Ohtani. I think he's overrated to begin with. And now I hate the guy even more now. So people just completely ride him. And it gets annoying. And I know he can pitch. I know he can hit. But I'm not going to sit here and ride Ohtani like everybody else seems to do. So I'm not. Alvarez got completely screwed, but he's not going to play anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Verlander, Valdez, Alvarez, Altuve starting, and then Kyle Tucker. Surprising one to me. I didn't think Tucker would make it, but he'll be there. So 4 of the 5 guys should be there. I mean, Altuve, Verlander, Valdez, and Tucker should be all be there. Now, we had 4 All-Stars last year. They all opted out. The game was in Colorado. I don't think they wanted to be booed. Sort of a bad look, but I don't really care. I don't get juiced up for the All-Star game, even the home run derby. Now, Alvarez was going to have a chance possibly to participate in that home run derby, but it's obviously out of the question now. He won't be there. I don't really get excited for this like I used to. I used to get pumped up for the All-Star Game, Home Run Derby, but I'll watch it just because there'll be nothing else, basically. But, again, that's going to be sort of just a break. And, yeah, we'll be setting probably things up for our doubleheader on Thursday there. So, anyway, trying to think here. What else did I leave out? Not a whole lot. I want to give you the 2 guys that in the lineup that bothered me the most. Obviously, was Bregman's gotten better. I want to get you to the numbers real quick. And when I did this on Wednesday, if you remember, my phone was like dying on me as I was trying to do this, so it was kind of hard. I was trying to preserve the power, so it's kind of hard to scroll through all these stats on my phone here. But Bregman's average 240, so it's still not great. He's still got a lot of work to do. Gurriel's at 233, so those need to get better, obviously. But yeah, McCormick, Corey Lee, average up to 375, very small sample size, of course, for Corey Lee. Can't stand to see McCormick here much longer. He's a guy they just need to find a way to get rid of at the deadline. Like last year, you got rid of Miles Straw. Miles Straw was not playing poorly. At that point in time, he was playing well. But you traded Miles Straw. You brought in a catcher who's actually going to catch in the Futures game coming up here. But you brought in Maton. But you thought McCormick could be an everyday guy. You also brought up Jake Myers, who's been the everyday guy. And McCormick hasn't worked out. So he's a guy you need to get rid of because I can't stand to see McCormick in this lineup or play for us any longer. And Siri plays good defense and has good speed, but his bat can't keep him up here on the Major League roster. So anyway, wrap things up there. Hope my mic made it through. Never actually sure on this. I'm not using the default mic. I went back to the old mic, which I have done for now the last 3 podcasts because the external mic completely went crazy on me. This mic, I need to get a new one at some point, which hopefully I will. But this mic sometimes has that muzzling, staticky sound. So again, if you hear that now, if you've heard it earlier in this podcast, previous podcasts, I do apologize. When I hear it, if I'm listening to my podcast afterwards, I get a little frustrated. But anyway, I'm coming up on 25 minutes. I usually don't like to go that long on these weekly recaps, but wrap things up there. 2 more series, All-Star break. We'll talk to you next Monday, most likely. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Next Monday. So yeah, exactly a week. But yeah, we'll wrap things up there, and we'll talk to you next time.